I'm Brett Latham, and we're going to talk about AP Economics. First thing we're going to talk about is basic economics. This is Module 1 of Krugman's AP for Economics. First thing I want you to do is take a look. I've got 10 questions here, true-false questions. Pause the video, scan the questions, do it quickly, and answer those 10 questions, true or false. Okay, guess what? So you've answered all the questions, you pause the video, they're all false, every single one of them, okay? Those are some of the myths about economics we're going to dispel as we go through these first few modules. Okay, specifically, everything I talk about, we're going to go through the modules for Krugman's Economics for AP. Doesn't matter whether you have the first or second edition, they're very similar, and either way you can go through with me and go through these same questions and the things we talk about. So you're good with either book. Okay, first of all, it's like, well, Mr. Latham, why should I watch your videos? Well, your book, Krugman's Economics for AP, is by David Anderson and Margaret Ray. Here's Latham with David Anderson. Here's Latham with Margaret Ray. He's got a cool economics t-shirt. But it's like, know these people. We're at the economics right there. That's the AP reading right there, where we actually grade your papers. In addition, Jacob Clifford, Latham with Jacob Clifford. Jacob is the best videos you can get for economics review. These are economics training videos, not review videos. So we're going to teach you first, and then when you want to review, go to Mr. Clifford. He's great. AC/DC economics, you'll love it. Okay. Here's Latham with Peter Duffer, and you can see once again at the AP reading, I was reading macroeconomics, Peter was reading microeconomics. Those are those two colors. Peter's website, stuffka.com, a lot of the PowerPoints that we use are courtesy of Peter. He's got some great questions on there, and it's super useful. So I really encourage, and we'll go through and we'll use a lot of his stuff, and I want to acknowledge him. Peter's a great guy. What's going to happen here? Well, it's not super easy, but it's also not super difficult. So this is from Charlotte, a little note she wrote me. At the beginning of the semester, this class was insanely difficult. I hated it. Well, she didn't really hate it, but she thought it was hard. However, it got easier just like you promised it would, and now it's crazy looking back and seeing the massive amount of new things I've learned. I never thought I'd make it through a test here and think, wow, that wasn't bad at all. You might be a little out of your mind, but you're a great teacher. Thank you. So it's like whatever you're struggling with as you get through the class early on, remember, just like with Charlotte, it'll get easier. Okay, so now let's get into it. You should always have a piece of paper. We're going to take notes. I'm going to tell you some of the things. You can take notes on anything you want, but I'm going to tell you things I want you to have notes on, because those are the things we're going to focus on in class and things that you're going to need for your AP exam at the end of this semester and at the end of this course. Okay, first thing, what is economics? Well, economics is the study of the efficient use of scarce resources. The things we want are scarce, to get maximum satisfaction of our wants. Okay, so make sure you write that down. Pause if you need to. Okay, so we're going to talk about scarcity and choice. Okay, and that's a big piece here. Okay, two different types of economies. Okay, there's a market economy and a command economy. A market economy is where the market determines what's produced, who produces it, and how it's produced. In a command economy, there's a central authority, think Cuba, that decides what's produced, how it's produced, and so forth. Okay, in a market economy, very important incentives, okay? And the biggest incentive we have is price. If you give somebody something really good, but it's too expensive, they won't buy it anyway. So price is how we determine who gets what and what's produced in a market economy. So price is hugely important. Property rights, another thing, make sure you've written that down. Property rights. If you don't have the right to benefit from something, you don't care nearly as much. You rent a car, you don't take quite as good a care of it. You're just using the park. You throw your trash on the ground. It's not yours. Don't care as much about it. Hopefully you don't do those things. But it's like when you don't own something, you don't care quite as much. Okay? In a command economy, the government owns the key resources and property. Okay? That's the big thing to remember. In a market economy, who owns those things? Private individuals and firms. Okay? Resources. We're going to talk about resources throughout economics, and I use the acronym CELL, like cell phone, okay? And they're right here, and write them down. CELL, capital, entrepreneurship, land, and labor, okay? And your definitions are right there, but basically they make sense. Capital is the machinery, buildings, tools, equipment that businesses use. Entrepreneurship is the person with the idea that takes the risk. Land is everything the earth has if there were no humans. So if the earth would have it anyway with no humans, then it's land. So trees are land, water is land. It's not like land in the sense we normally think about. And then labor is workers. I'm labor. I teach, I'm labor. Okay? CELL, capital, entrepreneurship, land, and labor. Okay, something else. Opportunity cost, another thing to write down. Opportunity cost is what you give up. I go to a restaurant. I want to order the lobster and steak. It's $45. Well, I'm probably not going to order that because I'm kind of cheap, but I would be giving up what else I could buy for $45. Well, if I only spend $15 at the restaurant, I have another $30 to spend on Starbucks coffee over the next couple of weeks, and I would much rather do that. So opportunity cost is when you do something, what are you giving up? Very important economic concept. Okay, marginal analysis. Everything we do is at the margin. I go to Starbucks, I get a cup of coffee. Love my coffee. I stay around for a little bit. I'm like, I finish my coffee, what do I do? Well, I might order a second cup because I love Starbucks coffee and one cup isn't always enough for me. So I drink my second cup. I'm now done with my second cup. Am I going to order a third cup? Well, I don't look back and say, wow, I love Starbucks coffee. I'm just going to keep drinking it. I drank 2 cups already. I'm probably done. So I've used marginal analysis. I didn't simply say, hey, I think I'm going to buy 7 cups of coffee today. I bought a cup of coffee, okay? I liked it, bought another one, and I'm done. Say, that's marginal analysis. You do, everything you do is at the margin. Every morning you decide to come to school or not to come to school. Once you're at school, it's much easier to say, you know what, I'm going to stay here. It's easier to go to third period than it is to get up at 6:30 in the morning and get to first period. So everything is marginal analysis, and the key equation for marginal analysis is right there. Marginal benefit has to be greater than equal to marginal cost. So when I buy that cup of coffee costs me $3. I'm like, what's my benefit? Well, $10. Well, $10 is greater than 3, I buy it. Second cup, $5. 5 is greater than 3, I buy it. Third cup, I only would be willing to pay like 50 cents. Well, 50 cents is less than $3, and so I'm going to say, nah, I'm good, I'm done. Okay? So marginal analysis. Okay, micro versus macroeconomics. Microeconomics, so you're writing this down, focuses on the choices made by individuals, by households, and by firms. Okay, that's microeconomics. That's, in my case, that's what we're going to be studying this semester. We're talking about right now. And then macroeconomics is the study of economic aggregates. That's kind of an economic-y term there. But it's things like the unemployment rate, the inflation rate, and GDP. And we'll be talking about a lot of those things, in our case, in the second semester. So microeconomics, choices made by individuals, households, and firms. Macroeconomics talks about economic aggregates, in other words, the entire economy. Okay, 2 more definitions. Positive economics and normative economics. With positive economics, I look at it as I'm positive it's true. Generally speaking, anything with positive economics, there's a consensus that it's correct. Okay? With normative economics, it's an opinion. Positive economics, right now the unemployment rate, say, is 5%. Economists agree that's true, therefore it's a positive economic statement. Normative economics, I think 5% unemployment is great. That's an opinion. Okay, that would be normative economics. Okay, that's it for Module 1. Make sure you have your notes down, and we'll see you in class tomorrow. Thanks, and that's Latham, and we're out.